Good day, all, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Kaya Guten, BD at Pitchtalk, and I'm absolutely thrilled to kick off the Ordinals Council BRC20 DemoDay in partnership with New Tribe Capital and Centauri at Pitchtalk. Today, we will experience firsthand showcases of 8 BRC20 startups, each precisely given 5 minutes to pitch their vision and potential while showcasing a demo. Following up each showcase, we will have another 5-minute question round. In addition, I'm very pleased to share that we have a prominent panel of judges involved, consisting of VCs, angels, and luminaries of the Bitcoin and Ordinals movement. Most of all, I'm very honored to share that we will start the event with a short introduction with 3 members of the Ordinal Council themselves. So before I bring these visionaries on stage, I would like to highlight our agenda for today with our showcasing stars and beloved judges. So we got Ordinals Councils kicking off, followed up by 8 showcases, and wrapping up the event with Toshipat Online Party. These are our partners of today, and not to forget our beloved judges that are involved. So please, Sonny, get ready as I'm about to bring you on stage. Yes, welcome.
Kaya, how are you, mate?
I'm doing very good, and a big pleasure to have you on stage today. I'm looking in our pre-stage who are the 2 fellow council members, so please stay tuned with me.
No worries. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, I see we got Zach Amato. Welcome, welcome.
Hey. How are you guys doing today? Pleasure being here.
Pretty good. And bringing also Serge on stage. Welcome, Serge. We lost Serge. Let's see if we can bring him back. Yes, we have a little issue, but nevertheless, we can already kick off. So please, the architect and Zakamaito, please introduce yourself and most of all, what the Ordinals Council is all about. I see you in a bit.
You can begin, Zach.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Thank you. All right, there we go.
Hey, guys.
There's Serge here as well. All right, so let's give this a kickoff. Earlier last year, almost a year, it's been a year anniversary and a little more for the ordinal space. Ordinals essentially is the technology that was enabled called Taproot. This was quite in many ways for all of us in the Bitcoin space for a very long time. Essentially, there was always proposals going towards bringing data onto the blockchain, onto the Bitcoin blockchain. Of course, essentially in the beginning, a lot of maxis wanted to just keep the network for transactions. They didn't want the network to get too, congested or whatever the reason was. But as soon as Taproot got enabled, we knew that it is going to possibly be the biggest innovation in the blockchain space. Going back to 2014, when the Taproot proposal was first failed to gain traction and was rejected, that was the reason why Ethereum network got established to bring smart contracts to the network. And essentially why Bitcoin and Ordinals is so revolutionary is because unlike any other NFTs, which are just a new token that are minted, what Ordinals are is actual data being inscribed on individual Satoshis. So it was a vision happening for a very, very long time. In fact, a decade ago, Hal Finney had actually already gone ahead and tried to establish the parameters that we need to do more with Bitcoin. As soon as this happened, a lot of people who wanted to, increase the value of this technology, experiment with it, create value for others, or innovate within it, got together. And that's where a lot of like-minded people, like myself and all the people in the council, a lot of amazing founders from all parts of the world who truly believe that decentralization is financial liberation. We got together and we established the council. The reason we established the council is because in any new space, we know that there's a lot of opportunists that come, that just try to pitch a dream, pitch a vision, just to take advantage of retail audiences who are falling into the hype. And the council is established in a way to kind of create a little bit of, I wouldn't call it policing, but just a bit of supervision as to what we could bring to the space, how we could protect the space, and how at the early stages of Ordinals technology, we could find ways to prevent people to go into places where they could get their hands burned and then they kind of never come back. So the council was established with some very highly reputable founding members, great friends, co-developers, marketers, founders. I mean, an amazing of people. There's a question here in the private chat says, "Who's the architect?" Um, and we moved on. We started studying the space. Initially, the technology was very young, so we wanted to be a little careful, and that is why we didn't want to just start looking and bringing projects, because we knew that the indexers had to come in first, and a lot of marketplaces and a lot of tech to support the Ordinals ecosystem had to be established. Gaining confidence is then, that's when we actually released our initiate PFPs, the yellow PFPs. One of them, you can see the architect is rocking. And from there on, we kept studying the space to see where viability is, where actual utility can come. I mean, it's easy to bring any product to the blockchain, but it's hard to sustain its value. So the council's main purpose has always been that, hey, play it slow, steady, but play with quality. So whoever is getting involved in the space, especially through the council, right, are picking up or getting involved in assets that can sustain. We all know that we are today developing something that could create maybe generational wealth in the future, especially when we enter the next bull cycle. And yeah, I'll pass it on to Sunny, Serge to kind of take it from there, detail it out a little bit, or if you guys want to do your own intros. And by the way, my name is Zach. I just found it cool to call myself Zakamoto today. Passing it on
Thanks.
to Sunny. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. Thanks for the beautifully worded intro. Yeah, my name's Sunny. I've been in the space since 2017. I focus on social media and content. It's something that I've specialized in for quite some time now. So, bringing that skill set into the space, one thing that, from a marketing and communication perspective, I always looked to NFTs and ordinals as a new way to reach the masses, to communicate, a version of value to retail, because, crypto, Bitcoin, finance, this stuff is very technical and, boring to some people. And art has been around for, a very long time. And this is something that most people get. They get the scarcity, they get the value, they get these things that are inherent within art. And when Ordinals came about onto Bitcoin, this is a big thing for me. It clicked in my head, and it was like, well, this is a brilliant way to communicate and to connect to more people, and to ultimately bring more people into the Bitcoin space, and help with the expansion of the ecosystem and overall adoption. For me, Ordinals was very exciting from that point of view. And we came together as a group, all we've been in the space for quite some time, and we're all bringing our skill sets into the council, and different visions and different ways of doing things. And yeah, it's been a really, really exciting journey to this point. So yeah, we've really, really tried to have high integrity and keep things in a DAO-like structure, so that there's not too much centralization in the way that we go about things. And yeah, we're really looking forward to what's to come in the next bull run. I think Bitcoin is definitely going to be, a major narrative, and the things that are getting built on top of Bitcoin, the evolution, the innovation that's finally starting to come about is really exciting to us, and we feel like we've really been, spearheading it from the very beginning, especially on Ordinals and with BRC. So yeah, super excited to be here, and thank you very much for everybody's time. And yeah, I'll pass it over to you, Serge.
Hey guys, thanks for organizing this and hosting. Super excited to be here and kind of share our story of how we ended up here. Actually, it's been almost a year, Sunny. It's been exactly a year since you were in Dubai, and we stumbled across Casey's Ordinals white paper around late January. Nick, Zakamoto, and I were inscribing, minting, and trading in the dark alleyways of Discord, Bitcoin punks and frogs and all that good stuff. And we were also the first to mint Ordi and inscribe the Bitcoin white paper on Satoshi. And fundamentally, I think what we saw with Ordinals is, people ask me what Ordinals are, and sometimes I have a hard time explaining it, but the best definition or explanation I can share with everybody is, think of the great library of Alexandria and all that knowledge that got stored in the great library of Alexandria, and then it got burnt down, and all that knowledge was kind of like faded away into the history. So with Ordinals, what we see now is everything moving back to the mother chain, and Bitcoin moving from a store of value function to a utility function to a data storage function. So the best way to explain it is actually storing knowledge and storing data on the Bitcoin network, and this knowledge can never, ever be taken away from us. So with that, we also saw the re-accessibility of Bitcoin. So for people who didn't have access to Bitcoin, and obviously we saw with the maxis, hoarding the Bitcoin and keeping it to themselves, and there's no real value to it besides its store of value. We saw accessibility come back to Bitcoin, and people kind of like, storing, using it for JPEGs and now for data. And so we came together, we formed the Ordinals Council to incubate, to support, to provide access to resources and tools for founders who want to build with Bitcoin, on Bitcoin, and for Bitcoin. And it's just been an incredible journey to have done all this without any VC funding or without any real capital backing of any sort. And it was just us coming together as investors, as Zach said, investors and content creators and influencers in the space and builders to form this DAO format council, and to really advance the narrative of Bitcoin utility and adoption. Yeah, that's the gist of it, guys. Over and out.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure to have the OGs on board, and let's move on to the first showcase. All right, so please, Mike, get ready as we're about to bring you on stage. We will kickstart the first showcase with nobody else than 10 and 8. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Welcome, Mike.
Hi, Guy. Hi, Guy. Can you hear me well?
Loud and clear. So
Okay.
if you could please share your screen below, then I will bring it on the stage and friendly kick myself off the stage.
Well, how do I do that?
So below middle, there is a present button. If you click on the present button and head to slides, you can upload your PDF, your pitch deck there, and then we can get kickstarted.
All right, all right. I just have a demo. Like I'm just like maybe just talking if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Will you share your screen while having this demo, or will it purely be a pitch?
It has to be a purely pitch.
In that case, we're ready to go. Then, Mike, please kickstart your showcase.
Okay. Hi guys, nice to be here. And let me introduce myself. So, my name is Mike. I'm the communications wizard at 10 and 8. I have been in the crypto space for about 7 years now, and I have seen it all through. But when the BRC and Ordinals protocols came around, I felt like this is the first time we can bring true decentralization to the masses. But as you all know, everything is too complicated for new people joining the space. And to achieve real adoption, we had to think a little differently. So we asked questions. How do we make it fun? How do we make it engaging? How do we truly tap into the minds of the new generation and educate them in the process? And the answer was through stories. Make it fun, make it gamified, to make people want to explore the space in a fun way, but learn through baby steps. And this is where the Little Dragon was born. Our ultimate mission is to bring Bitcoin to every household on the wings of the Little Dragon, a conduit and a medium that taps into every teenager's computer and phone to raise every kid to become a Bitcoiner through the Little Dragon lore. And now, how do we exactly turn this vision into a reality? So, we're going to do this in 3 ways. One is financial literacy via DeFi built on the Dragon lore, entertainment via gaming, and immersive experience through the Little Dragon metaverse. Ultimately, the core problem is education and accessibility. Web3, as we all know, can be extremely complicated. And the Little Dragon makes it fun to participate, remove barriers, and makes it easier for people to access Bitcoin, solving the access and educational gap. So let's get into each of those categories and explore them in more details. First is financial literacy via DeFi. What does it actually mean? When we think of DeFi, many things come to our mind, but one of them that we know for sure is staking. And staking and DeFi go hand in hand. Staking is also a pillar within the crypto ecosystem. And educating our audiences of the utilization of this tool leads us one step closer to adoption. And at 10 and 8, we have 3 staking pools, and each pool serves a specific purpose. The first one is the yield-bearing pool. It serves as an accelerator, helping us connect projects and facilitate their adoption to the masses. The second pool is the Bitcoin rewards pool. It's self-explanatory. It's a mechanism for the masses to earn a yield in Bitcoin and actually utilize it. It's another way to bring Bitcoin to the masses. And finally, the funky pool. We came up with an idea to create a mystery staking pool where you stake 10 and 8 and you may receive something unique. You have to stay tuned to find out more. The second point is entertainment via gaming based on the Dragon lore. Gaming is super popular these days, right? Think Roblox and Fortnite with over 300 million active users every month. Now, if you want everyone to get into something, it needs to be easy and fun. So what if we introduce Bitcoin to teenagers, not through burning stuff, but through gaming? To that, we made a mini game where you can dive into gaming, and also it lets you explore payments within the game via crypto. But here's the cool part. You can only get into the minigame by staking. Once a user has staked 10 and 8, they have the ability to play the minigame, and with that are able to collect red envelopes that further unlock additional rewards. This again helps us perform some basic crypto actions within the game, further pushing our adoption. And the third final point is the immersive experience through the Little Dragon. Finally, we come to the topic of immersive experiences via metaverse. While the metaverse was a big thing, big idea in 2021, today the concept of immersive experiences has gained significant traction in the gaming industry. For example, Roblox currently hosts hundreds, if not thousands, of games that educate the younger demographic through these experiences. It is evident that well-designed immersive experiences can have a significant impact. We're taking this concept and applying it to our educational component. So, what our immersive experiences will include? It will include scavenger hunts for envelopes, quests and quizzes, project details that will be in our accelerator, and educational materials like how Ordinals started, how BRC20 started, and in general, the Bitcoin ecosystem so we can educate the masses. And also, you will be able to claim some prizes, for example, NFTs. And you may ask, why the dragon? Why the little dragon? Well, what better way to do it than to bring it on the year of the dragon and unite the West and the East? Additional interesting thing we have done is add numerology to our tokenomics. It's all about luck and bringing wealth to the masses. The dragon year is the year of prosperity after all. And a fun fact to end it all, I was also born in the year of the dragon. And I feel like my mission is to bring Bitcoin adoption to the masses. And with that, I will end my pitch. Thank you all for tuning in and listening.
Yes, thank you so much for your showcase, Mike. Let's see if our judges have any questions. Not yet so far. However, I have a few to cast at you. So how do you incentivize users to engage at your platform?
So we'll include in-game rewards. And as I mentioned, or I didn't actually mention that, but we'll be building integrations for distributing rewards within the game for other tokens as well. So that might be really interesting for the users to tune in and just get different coins and just tokens and just play around and have fun in the game.
Amazing, totally. And I have one more, a bit of a tough and burning question. So yeah, feel free if you can ask it. Out of own experience, GameFi developers may have a challenge to create a fun game to play, which is as essential for a game, of course, yet also create a balance with healthy economics. So how do you tackle these challenges to create a fun game to play, yet have also a sustainable model in your economics?
Yes, so as I mentioned, we're gonna have free staking pools. So with that in mind and accelerating a project, different projects, we want to build a healthy economy around it. So the game is like an additional addition, you know, it's not like the main thing. So we actually, what we want to do is like bring Bitcoin to the masses and make it easy, make it fun. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And I was wondering, when users are able to play your game, is this in the form of a downloadable app, or is this perhaps a web browser that they can use?
So for now, it will be web browser, but the time will tell. Maybe we'll also develop an app. I guess it's all in front of us, and the future will tell us.
Strategically, that sounds great. I mean, if you have a web browser, you can attract so many more audiences and be very accessible. So that's amazing to hear. In the meantime, I'm gonna tune again in the judges chat to see if somebody has a question. Yes, I got a question coming up from Pranav from the foundership. What parts of these futures are on-chain on Bitcoin, or are you solving that through another route?
Can you tell me it once again, please?
Absolutely. So Pranav wonders what part of your GameFi features are on-chain on Bitcoin or the BRC20 network, or are you aiming to solve another route to enable your features?
Yeah, so everything will be on Bitcoin. That's what we aim for. We This is the mother chain. We want to stay on that, and I hope this kind of answers your question for now, at least.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I believe we have also one judge coming on stage right now. Let me see. Yes, we have the pleasure to bring Amalia on stage. Welcome, Amalia.
Hi guys, how are you? I would like to find out, is there any specific mechanics behind the yield and the different staking pools that you mentioned? Is there something fun about it, or is it just like regular staking and yield?
So as I mentioned before, the staking, like the game, is connected to the staking pools themselves. So if you want to play the game, you have to stake. So 10 and 8. So this way, we want to initiate, like, make players join in by staking and then playing the game. So I feel like this is we want to make it gamified, make it fun, so everybody can tune in and just enjoy the Bitcoin and make it to available to everyone.
Okay, cool. And the staking, is it directly on layer 1 or is it on some side chain?
Yeah, this is directly on layer 1.
Oh wow, so you actually will be bringing TVO on Bitcoin itself. Nice.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Amalia. Then let's see if we have another question coming up. Yes, we got a question coming up from Symbiote. Is the game live? What's the current monthly active users? And what is your go-to-market plan here?
Okay, so the game is not live yet, and we plan to launch it before our TGE. So stay tuned for that. You will be able to play it yourself soon. It's so yeah, it'll be really soon. Follow our Twitter to stay updated on when it's gonna drop.
Well, you heard it, folks. So then let's go to the last question. What is your go-to-market plan here?
Go to market with the game. So what we want to do, as I said, like, we want to initiativize player in different ways. So this is one thing, but another thing is our backing. We have VCs and calls behind us, and we plan to also initiativize them to help us to bring the game to everyone and just enjoy it, and yeah, just pretty much bring Bitcoin to everyone. I want to end it with that because we're here for Bitcoin, and so we want to make it easier for everyone. I want this message to stand out because it is possible, and we want to, and we will make it happen.
Understood. We have one more question coming up, actually, from Foundership. What are the token unlocks, if you can elaborate on that, and when is your token TGE?
So actually, with the token TGE, you have to look out for our Twitter because big announcement is coming, probably in around 30 minutes. So stay tuned for that because this is really big update. And with the TGE, every token will be unlocked straight away.
Awesome. Well, that's some hot alpha there. Mike, I also want to thank you so much for being with us today. We're out of time, so wish you all the best with further developments, and have a great one.
Thank you so much, man. You too. Take care. Bye.
My pleasure. All right, so we will be moving on to the second showcase of today. I'm about to bring Kevin on stage from BitLayer. So Kevin, please get ready. Yes, welcome, Kevin. I believe we have the wrong Kevin here. My apologies. Yes, welcome.
Right?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. How you doing, Kevin?
Doing great.
Lovely. Well, it's a pleasure to have you on with us today. I can also see your slide, so I'm bringing it on right now, and the stage is all yours. Feel free to
Thank you.
kickstart.
Thank you. Thank you all the listeners, and thank you the host, and thank you all for the times. The project I'm branding here is called Big Layer. We are going to build a project and be the first Bitcoin security equivalent layer 2 based on Big VM. And there are a lot of information in this title, and I like to explain it a little bit more in the rest of my time. First, we like to talk about the opportunity, the asymmetric market opportunity in Bitcoin layer 2 markets. Yeah, when we comparing the market cap of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it is several times bigger, and but there is only a few TVLs on Bitcoin L2. So, and after the booming of BRC20 and other protocol assets, protocol, we believe that there will be a huge space for the Bitcoin layer 2. We make this project from the community. First, we made a lot of field research. We want to figure out what's the category of Bitcoin layer 2, and we want to clarify what's the security standard for the Bitcoin layer 2. We present a Bitcoin layer 2 standard draft to the community, and we gained almost 100K views in Twitter. And then we found that we should, when we're going to build a great project, we need to focus on 2 points. First, we should respect the tradition of Bitcoin, and we should learn the latest advances of Bitcoin technology, the Bitcoin ecosystem, like Big VM. And second, we need to learn the lending experience of other ecosystems, layer 2, like Ethereum. We found that Bitcoin, a Big VM is a big thing for Bitcoin ecosystem. So we built the East community for Big VM, and the document we post, the analyze we post, have another 100K views. After that, we think that we can use Big VM to solve something, to solve the L2, the layer 2 state transition problem. So we designed the protocol and want another 100K views. We published the protocol, and we to conclude, after study of us, we think that there are dilemma of Bitcoin layer 2. They are either side chains with Turing complete or channels with L1 security, or we should make trade-off between Turing complete and security. That's not good. We don't think this is the end game. We can improve it. Then we think that we figure out, and as I mentioned, I have making drafting of the security standard for to Bitcoin layer 1, layer 2. So there's two, when we want to build a great layer 2 for Bitcoin, we think that there are 3 areas we should focus on. Three questions, 3 types of questions we can focus on. First is about the verification of state transition on layer 1. Second, we should have asset bridging better than multisig. Third, we should have sophisticated VM like EVM, Solana VM, and Move VM. When the channels, we have only channels we couldn't do any composable. Yeah. So, and to focus to address these 3 problems, main problems, we just figure out we could use the 3 pillars to support our project. First is Big VM to achieve the goal that we verified the state transition on L1, Bitcoin L1, and we use DLC and Lightning Network technology to solve the asset bridging problem, to make a groundbreaking better than multisig. And we introduce VMs into the layer 2, so we can port the existing projects, and we can have composability. When comparing the three areas of the existing project, like Lightning Network and Stacks, Big Layer, after we achieved all the progress, all the things we proposed, Big Layer can be better than both layer, can solve the dilemma of we mentioned about. This is the architecture. As we know, this is typically layer 2 Ethereum low up scheme. Bitcoin L1 and Big Layer is L2. And there's something different and something new. First is the Big VM to use to make commitments by prover, and then verifier get the data and propose challenge. Make this proposer and verifier use Big VM to finish the challenging game, and DLC to enable assets and signal flow. And next is a few important flow workflows of this layer 2, like transaction workflows and asset ins. And when the layer 2 enter the axos, means that emergency situation. And when in an emergency situation, the users can bring the asset out without permission. After achieve the architecture we design, we can have several benefits. First is about the security. We can have the Bitcoin security level, and it's a low up model. Second, we can have we can achieve better performance with modular design. We enable infinite scalability, and the asset is safe because we can achieve a groundbreaking leap over than TSS and multisig. We can also support asset extos for trustless asset extos. While in the developer experience and user experience, we could do much better than other projects. About the team, yeah, this is the most we're proud of. The R&D team, which I am leading, have we are from Huobi Group. Previously, I working for Huobi Group, and are leading of departments for Web3 departments for about 200 people. We build Heckle with $14 billion TVL and 4 million transactions a day. And we have do a lot of things, and we build a lot of things, including ZK low up, and myself is a Celestia fellow. And we have Ethereum depths in our team. And the growth team is from Polkadot, Polygon, and we have a sophisticated growth team. The founders and my partners, Charlie is my partner from Polygon. He's the head of China and Southeast Asia of Polygon. About the ecosystem, we can make both of the protocols, but we won't make that only if we do that only if there's no specific protocol there. We have a good relationship because we have support of Huobi co-founder Mr. Du and Mr. Lee, and we have a very good relationship with the Bitcoin miner, CX, and developer community.
Please note you have 1 minute left.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we've go through the roadmap. Because it's a long-term project, we're going to migrate it from 3 versions. The first version will be delivered in February, and second version will be a challenging game without Big VM in Q3. and the last version will be Q2 next year. The tokenomics, we will give the half of the tokens to the ecosystem incentives. Yeah, this is all for big layer, and any questions are welcome. Thank you, host. Thank you, audience.
Many thanks to you too, and right on time. Let's see if we have some questions from our judges coming up. Not yet. However, I have also some questions prepared. So can we expect a bit layer token? Yeah. And can you, by any chance, share some alpha about its utility, if it's possible, of course?
Yeah, we are going to launch the TGE this year, but the time is not defined yet.
Understood. And what is the token utility?
For staking, for validator, and for the proposer, and this is the first kind. And second kind is the governance.
Understood. Many thanks for clarifying. And what are the main security advantages of your Bitcoin L1 verification system?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat again? Sorry.
Yeah. What are the main advantages of your Bitcoin L1 verification system?
Oh, I see. First, I'd like to introduce a little bit about BigVM. BigVM is a new project proposed last year October by Ruby Linux, and it's a big advantage of for big advance for Bitcoin system. It's most promising things in the next few years, because it proposed a scheme that you can make any computation of off-chain, and you can verify the results of the computation on Bitcoin itself, Bitcoin L1, using circuit gates to represent, using Bitcoin script to form circuit gates, and to circuit gates to form simulate any program. Yeah, this is how it works. We and Bitcoin, BigVM itself is a technology, a component. We use it to verify the state transition of L2 on Bitcoin L1. Yeah,
Amazing.
This is how it works. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Let's see if our judges have a few questions ready. Yeah, we got actually one from Pranav from Foundership. What is the product roadmap?
A product roadmap?
Yeah. What is your current product roadmap? So, which of the products is currently live, and what's to expect next?
Yeah, we will release. As I mentioned, we'll have 3, because this is a long-term project. Because BigVM is not yet, it's just like zkEVM in 2020 and 2021. So it needs researches and breakthroughs. So it is a long-term project. We're going to, and our goal is that to make our layer 2 the most advanced and most secure one in the market. So we will migrate it to the end game, to the latest version. The first version will deliver on this February, and the testnet will deliver next week. And actually, this is the version 1 is a sidechain plus multi-sig Bitcoin bridge. Yeah, actually, it's nothing new, but to be frank, it is the latest technology we can use now. And the second version will be delivered in Q3. Because BigVM is a long-term story, long-term project. We will finish the finish the protocol without BigVM itself, and with our help with BigVM projects, we think we can push it to a new level, and make it much easier, to build the final production version in the next year Q2. I think it will be feasible to make the next the latest to the V3 version. Yeah, this is the plan.
That's exciting to hear, and already some amazing plans around the corner. In February, we have a few more questions coming up from our judges. One more from Foundership. How much of your dependency is on BitVM? What if they can't deliver a virtual machine with finality on Bitcoin?
Yeah, this is a good question. Because we let's recall the history of ZK EVM and ZK. And first, people proposed this idea in 2020 and And firstly, Starknet use ZK technology to solve specific problem, like a StarEx, and deployed several StarEx suites for the community, like ImmutableX and other projects, and they gained a lot of huge success. And then he continued to contribute to the ZK EVM itself. So this can be the true in Big VM itself. We think that a general purpose of Big VM may be not easy to be delivered, but we can find ways to use Big VM philosophy and the schemes to solve the state transition verification problem in Bitcoin. We can find ways, just like StarEx had done before. There, thank you. Is host lost? Do we lost host? Sorry. Where's the host? Yeah, it just give me more time to present these projects, and I like to hear the questions from anyone in the group. Yeah, anyone can if have interest about these projects, please give me any answer. Progress of the round. The progress of the round is we have we raised from the pre-seed round led by ABCDE has closed. We are seeking the seed round of
Kevin. What's
Yeah.
up, Kevin? I'll be
Nice to
supporting
meet
you
you.
because I
Yeah,
can see
thank
that
you.
we completely lost our guy, but that's completely okay because I got a backup for you. I'll let you finish that question, and then we'll see if we can get the next candidates to come up. But first of all,
Sure.
any other questions from the private side? Don't leave the stage. Can you help answer that? It's the Zamsa jumping in. Yes. What's up, guys? Helping in here. So Kevin has a question on what's the progress of your round.
Yeah, we are seeking the C round for about 80 mil. Yeah, for 80 mil valuation. Yeah.
Okay, great. From the judges, do we have another question? If not, I will go ahead and take you down, Kevin, and get ready for the next man. Oh, actually, there is one other question. Sorry, from Charlie here. Will it require a BIP to pass? Was that already answered? How is Trustless Bridge achieved?
No, Charlie. Thank you for the question. Big VM. What the magic is for Big VM is in our project is we don't need any change for Bitcoin itself. Yeah, this is the magic, and this is the magic for big VM and for big layer. Yeah, we don't need that. But if the OPCAD can be implemented and in the near future, it will make this much easier.
Okay, Kevin.
Hey, you're back.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. We got our guy back. I'll be stepping off
Yeah,
stage.
thank you.
No
Thank you.
worries.
Yeah, I will leave the start the screen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kevin. It was a pleasure to have you on board. We will be moving on to our next guest. I'm very excited to bring this showcasing star on board. Please, Damon, get ready as you're about to get on the stage again. Yes, sir. Welcome back, Damon. Please check your microphone. I believe it's muted.
Oh, my apologies. Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear. Great to see you again on Pitch Talk.
Yes, yes. And great to see so many, builders in this space, especially for this demo day, as well as even familiar names. So really excited to be here.
Amazing. So if you could share your screen, Damon, then we can kickstart your pitch.
Excellent. Let me know when you're able to see it.
Lovely. Yes, it's all set. So feel free to kickstart your showcase. Yeah, excuse me, Damon. We're losing your connection. It's a bit choppy. Could you please check it and kick again your showcase from scratch, please?
Any better?
Yes, now it's perfect. Let's do it all from the start again, please.
Okay, excellent. If at any point it does interrupt again, just feel free to interrupt me. So as I mentioned, first we'll just briefly talk about the market because it really correlates and plays well into the problem and the problem that we're trying to solve here at Orange. Obviously, everyone is aware of the excitement, the hype, the potential, as well as the value of Bitcoin and blockchain itself. As we've seen here, especially over the past few years and more recently, there's been tons of more interest, not at the consumer level, but also with institutions as well, right? So different corporations starting to even invest their treasuries into it, building around just the technology itself, as well as obviously all this momentum with the ETF applications, et cetera. So we haven't even started this new bull run cycle yet, but we're starting to see a lot of experimentation with builders as well as just projects launching new protocols and standards on Bitcoin. And so we anticipate at Orange the next 2 years to be extremely exciting. Now, the problem that exists in the market today is, as mature as Bitcoin is, there's still a lot of huge opportunities and gaps that exist between where the technology is today versus the companies that actually have, infrastructure to support it. And so for us at Orange, what we are is a infrastructure layer as well as a DeFi ecosystem specifically focused on Bitcoin and all the associated protocols. So as a lot of you have probably already seen, there's been tons of building and energy and excitement happening around DeFi on Bitcoin, including a lot of new protocols such as ARC20s, SRC20s, even CBRC20s. The problem is when you think about the infrastructure that supports a lot of this experimentation and building, there's not a lot of household names. So when we looked at the market a couple of years ago, we saw that as an opportunity for us to be able to provide infrastructure specifically for all of this that's occurring now. So we've started off building our wallet in order to be able to help users just manage their Bitcoin and those associated protocols. Our Orange wallet currently supports not only Bitcoin, but BRC20s, Ordinals, and even Stacks. We're currently building more support for other protocols as well, including some future projects that include there's a lot of L2s, as we've seen here on this particular call, as well as a lot of other companies looking to build L2s on Bitcoin. And we certainly want to support those as well. And as all of these new protocols and L2s come about, there's going to be hundreds of tokens that are launched on each one of these standards. And we want our Orange wallet to be the leading provider for those assets to be managed. We also have a DEX that we're building out as well. Similar to our wallet, it'll support the same protocols, including the L2s. Currently, it supports Ordinals, I'm sorry, not Ordinals, BRC20s and Stacks, but we're expanding that. And we have ambitions to be able to make that cross-chain and interoperable with even ERC20s in the future. Data is actually a big component for us. And so not only are we building out kind of an equivalent to what you would have with CoinMarketCap, but specifically for Bitcoin, but we're actually leveraging this data to be able to serve a number of different purposes. One is to be able to leverage all of this data within our own platforms, including our wallet, which has an integrated AI assistant. And we envision an experience where any user could be able to ask for information regarding the industry and be able to have that at their fingertips, right? Whether it's the 24-hour trading volume of a specific token, you should be able to easily access that information. And by having this data service, we can certainly self-fulfill that. We also want to have a strong B2B model as well, in which we actually serve this data to not only projects, but even institutions in the future. So our Orange Market Cap platform is our strategy to be able to accomplish that as well. So as it exists today, if you look at the Orange ecosystem, again, we focus on DeFi for Bitcoin. We're leading with these 3 products. We also have some additional tools that we're going to be releasing here in terms of our roadmap in the future. And that includes a bridge in order for people to be able to convert their assets to maybe a different preferred chain, depending on their preferences. And then we also have ambitions to be able to launch some other tooling to be able to just support a lot of this energy in this space. All of our platforms, non-custodial, they're decentralized, and they're private and anonymous. And this is a core value and tenet of ours, because we certainly want to never have access or custody to any funds on any of our platforms. We want and support the ethos of blockchain itself, and users being able to have sovereign custody and manage their own wealth. And so we think that this is certainly something that is important and something that we want to align and support with as well. We do have a business revenue model, and at present that exists in a number of different areas, right? So whether it's the wallet or the DEX, we do ascertain and obtain fees, via exchange fees, as well as on-ramp and off-ramp fees. We do have providers that help us in some of those areas, including the fiat on-ramps. But on top of that, we capture a slight margin and spread. And we will, through our data service, also provide an API where projects could be able to obtain the data and use that for their own benefit, for their own projects, tooling, et cetera. And for large use cases where there's extensive usage of that data, we have a revenue model or stream that allows us to be able to capture that on a monthly basis. So if we look at the roadmap in general, as I mentioned, the items here, we are going to be releasing our Orange wallet in the next month. We're actually in progress of having the wallet being audited by Hacken, and post-audit, then we're going to be allowing our community to audit the code itself as well, and then proceed with a public launch. From there, we're going to be introducing a soft staking program in order to be able to have loyalty rewards for our holders. And then, as I mentioned, we have Orange Swap and then our Orange Market Cap that we'll be releasing as planned right now in the first half of the year. We do have a token. It's a BRC20 token. It's called Orange for simplicity. The symbol, as many people probably understand, for BRC20 tokens, it's limited to 4 characters. Ours is ORNJ, short for orange as well. And as an update, we actually released it yesterday. We were able to line up with a number of liquidity partners to be able to help us bring it to market, including 3 different launch pads, and we're already listed on 4 centralized exchanges. So we're very excited to be able to, introduce and have liquidity on the market and for people to join us on our journey. Real quick, if we talk about our team, it's something I'm extremely proud of. One, because of our experience, our credentials and background, but then 2, we've also been working for quite some time in this space. So I myself, I've always been focused more on the business side, but I've worked 17 years at Microsoft, and then following that, I've been a founder in this space in blockchain for the past 7 years. Our CTO, I've been working with him for, I think, about 8 years now. And he has experience. He's a full stack dev, great at architecture and infrastructure, has experience at Amazon. And then we also have another strong lead that helps us focus primarily on blockchain and is not only a full stack dev, but focuses solely kind of in the areas of Solidity development, has experience working at Oracle as well. Our team is very small, but we're a global group of 7 currently, mostly engineering folks. And very, very proud of our team. And we're distributed, but we have a concentration in the US. And then we also have folks in Turkey, China, and India. So at a high level, that's Orange. We're certainly excited to be able to work alongside of a lot of not only the builders here on this call, I noticed a number of partners, but then also just helping expand this space as well, right? Obviously, Bitcoin is the gold standard. We're happy to be a part of helping bring folks into the industry and supporting them alongside their journey in blockchain. And, really excited about the potential of what's about to come.
Damon, thank you for that presentation. It was fantastic. I appreciate you taking the time. Oh, Kai's back as well.
Yes, my apologies for the inconvenience. I had some problems with my network. However, got a new connection, so hopefully this works out. Damon, I believe you just wrapped up your showcase.
Yeah, we did.
Unfortunately missed it, yet I'm here for the questions, so let's see if our judges have a few coming up. Not yet. However, I also do have a few from my side, so let me grab my document and get into it. I can already start the first one. How do you incentivize users to engage with Orange and the whole ecosystem you have built around it?
Yeah, great question. So, one of the reasons why we have, or part of our strategy is to pull people into our ecosystem and then from there build trust with them, by providing a great experience, providing the data that they need or information that they need. And then from there, ultimately acquiring them as a user onto other products, primarily our wallet, right? Our wallet is kind of our core focus. And that's where we want to center a lot of our attention to. So even as we look at some of our other products, such as Orange, Market Cap, or even the DEX, the strategy there is to be able to use those as supplementary tools so that, let's say maybe you're an existing user on a competitive wallet. From there, we can build trust with you through our other platforms and then acquire you and have you join and, become a loyal Orange wallet user. Alongside that, not only with marketing, but we do have some creative user acquisition campaigns that we'll be doing in order to be able to just attract more users into the platform. So for example, what we've seen as very effective in this space over the past few months, obviously with what people have done with airdrops or some of these quests, such as Portal and whatnot, we have our own campaigns where we want to incentivize people to be able to leverage and use the wallet themselves through a series of quests. And so we are planning to launch, some surprise drops and things like that to be able to attract people into the wallet, which would require you to install the wallet, which would require you to perhaps not only just post and tweet, but then also maybe make a transaction such as depositing funds into the wallet. And then from there, they may be eligible for a free mint on an Ordinals collection, for example. So really some creative things like that in order to just draw people into the ecosystem, because data has found that once people kind of adopt a wallet per se or move funds into it, they tend to stay on it for quite a bit of time.
Understood. Thanks for clarifying. I see also our community has a few questions, so let's get into that. Vincent asks, given that it's a consumer-facing revenue business, is there a revenue share with Orange holders? Will some revenue go to pool rewards, for example?
Yeah, great question. So we've actually thought about this long and hard. We haven't made a decision on it yet, and part of that is for two reasons. One, for legal reasons, because once you start introducing revenue and you start sharing that with holders, that puts us in an entirely different legal bucket. And we always focus on being compliant to make sure that our holders as well as the business is protected, et cetera. So we are considering that, but we will have to kind of navigate that to make sure that we're in the clear there. And then two, it is something that we are highly interested in as well. And it's something we want to continue to get more feedback from our community upon. The other angle that we've thought about is potentially leveraging that revenue to maybe do token buybacks, and then from there using those as loyalty rewards for stakers. And so, I think there's some ways for us to be able to leverage that revenue creatively and be able to reward our holders on that.
Amazing. That's great to hear that you take these compliant issues quite seriously, and an interesting mechanism, and for the Degans among us to have some buyback mechanisms in the future potentially. I see also Truth Seeker from our community as a question. We all noted that you had yesterday an amazing token launch on many exchanges, and Truth Seeker asked the general question: how many exchanges are in the pipeline and when Binance?
Yeah, everyone wants to know when the Holy Grail is going to come aboard. Unfortunately, I can't comment on some of those specifically, but what I will say is, what I'm extremely proud of is the fact that we've always wanted to make sure that there's deep liquidity and deep accessibility for anyone. And what we do know, obviously all of us know, that dealing with BRC20 tokens and Bitcoin can be very challenging. Crypto is already confusing, but when you kind of couple that, especially with BRC20s and Ordinals, becomes the bar becomes a little higher, even for folks that are very experienced in this space, because you have to deal with inscriptions and then doing multiple activities twice just to even do a send transaction. So for us, we wanted to make sure that we simplified that as much as possible, and so that's one of the reasons why we opted to have so much or so many exchanges available on day one. Two, we also thought that was a strong signal for our holders to be able to let them know that liquidity is not only important to us, but also making sure that that experience is much easier than just having it on decentralized marketplaces. We are in talks with a number of exchanges right now, including all the big players: Bybit, KuCoin, OKX, and other names as well. I will say we have some planned and on deck. We will be onboarding more in the future. As far as timelines are concerned, we don't even know, quite frankly, but our interest is to be able to onboard and get them to support Orange as soon as possible.
Thank you for elaborating on that. And well, you have already a DEX, a wallet that's being tested. And can we also have these DEX functionality in your wallet?
Yeah, so it'll actually be integrated into the wallet as well. And when we think about our wallet itself, we obviously want it to do its core functions and features that everyone expects, right? So be able to leverage a seed phrase, manage your assets, be able to send, receive safely, no issues. But on top of that, we want to incorporate additional services so that it's all in one experience. And if you want to either swap it's available inside the wallet very easily. Even if you want to lend assets, we want to be able to support that as well. And so we're not going down that path ourselves, but we're working with a number of different partners that are very focused on that, and great providers, including Liquidium, et cetera. And so we're going to bring a lot of that functionality into the wallet so that it just provides more value-added services for our not only our holders, but the users as well. So yeah, people can definitely look forward to that, and even more integration with our own products in our ecosystem. For example, we're going to be releasing our bridge here. Our targeted is early March, and that'll be integrated into the wallet as well, so people can do that again seamlessly in one experience.
Oh, that's exciting news. Thank you so much. I have one more question coming up from myself. So security remains quite a big hot topic and a challenge in the DeFi ecosystem. How do you tackle against these security gaps?
Yeah, great question. So, you know, the beauty of Bitcoin and why we're so optimistic about its potential. One, if you think about it from a security perspective, there's no other chain that's more secure, in our opinion, right? And so we don't have some of the same challenges as maybe some of these alt chains or you know, these alternative networks such as Ethereum and so on, where there requires a heavier lift when you release a product because of the smart contracts and you know, the amount of programming and custom development that goes into a lot of these solutions. So even when you look at just our simple token itself, right, it operates on Bitcoin, the blockchain, and there's not much else. You can't alter it, right? And so from that perspective, it's the most secure in that space. Now, when we look at our own products and dApps in our ecosystem, you know, we have kind of a programmatic approach when it comes to security and deployment. So we do our own extensive testing as well, obviously with our own test cases, and then we go through our own audit process. From there, we engage a third-party auditor. For example, I mentioned earlier, we're doing an audit with Hacken. And then after that, we open it up to the community, and we have kind of a bug bounty, if you will. So the community could actually provide a second set of eyes into it. And then from there, our ambitions for all of our products is actually to release everything, you know, once it's ready from a competitive standpoint, to make sure that it's all open source, that everyone has access and can even contribute to the code as they see fit as well. So that's kind of our approach and our standard when it comes to security. Obviously, there's no silver bullet. Even an audit won't protect you from, you know, every use case possible in there. But we think that at a minimum, that's what every project should be doing in order to just safeguard their holders, their users, their community.
I totally agree. At least it's great to hear that you tackle these issues on many fronts. And considering everything, we're also out of time. So Damon, thank you so much for being again with us. And I'm looking forward to shape you up the Ordinals ecosystem. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having us. And as always, thank you for all your support, and go Bitcoin, yeah?
Hey, let's go. See you, buddy. All right, so we will be moving on to our next showcasing star with Alex from Unilayer Network. Alex, please get ready as I'm about to bring you on stage.
Hey, happy to see everyone. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, absolutely. A pleasure to have you on. Let's see if we can share your screen and immediately kick off your showcase.
We can start with a light explanation. You know, I'm kind of exhausted right now, but today is the day because we 5 hours ago, probably 7 hours ago, launched our testnet with 9 nodes. We have speed of 1 block per second, and so far they produced 15K of blocks without any obstacles. They are synchronizing. They have enough time to make synchronization. So, wow, we made it real.
Wow, okay, that sounds plus like a wild day. And then an
That's
extra... Yeah, totally. Well, thanks for still being with us. And yeah, that's exceptional. And saying that, I can't wait to experience your showcase.
Yeah, let's move step by step then. All right. You know, I am very into the Bitcoin landscape because after like years of development, I'm developer more than 20 years already. I was in enterprise and was in crypto from the very beginning of crypto, quit it and returned it later. I was like in banks, retails, and etc. And what I adore the most in Bitcoin landscape is the level of professionality you have to have in order to do something, anything. You can't even scam without deeper knowledge of how it works. This is truly amazing. And what's more inspiring that there are very few projects really interesting in the whole area with real scientific knowledge, with real scientific proof. So I believe we can stand in that line because Unilever is UTXO based chain, basically what we are developing for more than 3 years already. You know, we constantly faced like heavy critic. 3 years ago, like it wasn't that hyped. Everyone criticized us because why not go into EVM? Why not to do like something more hyped? And we persisted because we know the tech, we know why it happens, we know what to do and what has to be done. So why to bother about today hype? It is like 3 years past, and today everyone talking about crypto and specifically Bitcoin. And this is why I get so amazed and amused in the same moment. So we have our unique genesis. It's not a fork only in a code sense. We added a lot of different important additions. One of the most common and simple and obvious is EVM. We support in Shanghai EVM. It is like we storing it in to say signatures, but what's more important here that we actually managed to create cascade signatures, which allows us to sign transaction UTXO newly create transaction and protect every bit of it based on RLP transaction we received, for instance, from MetaMask. And this opens completely new gates for us. In the same moment, we have transformation RPC gate that operates just like Infra, which means that, yeah, we do have native Ethereum style RPC. Today will be deployed Block Scout, complete Ethereum based scanner that will support Unilayer transactions. And you know, RLP transactions, they're not that straightforward as Ethereum transactions. Ethereum is just like we have sender encrypted in the whole transaction via ETH recover. We have receiver and amount, as simple as it could be. But in UTXO, we have multiple senders, multiple receivers. It's way more complicated. And let me like uncover a bit of mysteries because this part is public of the code. This part of the code is public. You can see it by yourself anytime and see what exactly we done there. We encrypting it, deciphering it as to say, I guess we lost host. I hope it's not permanent.
I'm still here with you.
All right. So we're using internal transactions. This is a bit techy stuff, but what it means that we can represent in a native style of Ethereum unilayer transactions, which are UTXO transactions. What else there? We have depots, also one of the very criticized consensus model, one of the fastest though. And later Sui came out and we're like, wow, finally it's not that hated by everyone, right? Specifically for Ordinals, what we have to offer, what is our proposal and what we are doing right now. It's like will be the next update. First, we have 2 layers of the mempool, which allows us to store heavy transactions and process it in a like slower manner, like financial transactions first, they're fast, and heavy transactions later, without any considerations about overpressuring on the block, because obviously we have 1 block in a second, and it doesn't really matter for us. And the second thing that it's very good for the chain to have filled up blocks and good for the security. So it's win-win situation here. The next important thing that since we have direct access to tree estate on the node, right, which is EVM storage of the data basically, and the key commander center. And since we have access to eval script, which is the place where we processing inscriptions and stuff, we naturally can really tie them together and create like specific opcodes, probably specific syntax. We will talk with Ordinals about exact standard on that. That will able for Solidity, probably not that classical Solidity, to operate with Ordinals. And this is entirely possible, which is exciting. It's honestly extremely exciting. The next interesting part here that we actually can process JSON data stored in inscription if we will have some standard on that. You know why, right? Which will allow us to like transpile it to different types of tokens, even NFT if you want, and produce transaction to store it, and of course to process it back. And the next interesting thing here that the main idea of Unilayer is to be cross-chain, like interoperability, cross-chain messaging. So what we're doing is essentially creating overlapping areas of few chains. The most essential part of Unilayer innovation is ability to compile two nodes, two vanilla nodes like Unilayer and Bitcoin, for instance, as a single binary, which if you will have like validator role in Unilayer and that epoch, and you have synchronized complete data from the Bitcoin. When you will receive the data from Bitcoin, you will be able to participate in voting round on that transaction based on that information specific. And if you'll spread it false, you easily can be slashed, which is a very significant difference from Oracle's paradigm, right? Finally, it's not Oracle anymore. It's just regular validator. That's it. So those validators, we have like composition right now, 21 validator per one transaction. As for transactions outgoing created from Unilayer 2 target network, we're using 2 round MPC. And right now it's external service. We are under the development. It's an alpha version. Later in our roadmap, we have a plan to bring it into consensus of the chain, thus to increase the speed. And now let me explain why we're doing this. Right now we have pretty good the tech stack in interoperability, right? But the problem is all of it is focused on arbitrage money flow, like 9K value per transaction. And concerns are that this transaction has to be transparent and secure. No one really bothers about speed of execution of that transaction and the cost, because what's important when you transfer in solid amounts of money, only those two things. And this is why we came to half that cross-chain markets, unfortunately, because naturally what we do want to have in that area is the ability to create business logic separated on different chains, is to be able to balance your logic across different chains, is to be able to do something on like trade tokens on one chain, for instance, and receive tick information from another chain with another contract trading exact same token, for instance. Is just a very tiny piece. We've seen a lot of people who are nearly starving for that tech. And the reason why it's not presented yet is quite solid. Because first, in a cross-chain of that scale, you have to use UTXO. There is no way around. You know why? It seems, it's my hypothesis, we have global state of balances in Ethereum. There is no such thing in any classical bank, for instance, because your balance, what you see in your wallet, is basically a virtual number, because you have to squash your transactions, the whole transaction history to find the real number. So it's not an actual number, right?
Please note you have 1 minute left.
All right. So yeah, so many things to tell. Like let me go back to important features of Unilayer. We're also supporting from Bolt 11 Pico Satoshi. Many claimed that it's entirely not possible to implement on Bitcoin code. It is possible. It's complicated though. But yeah, we have like 18 numbers after the delimiter, right? Like in Ethereum, which is very good for Pico Satoshi, which is really good for Ordinals and BRC, for instance, and also increasing the ability to transfer information across the chains. So right now we already launched our testnet. It's available. Later we will make like public announcement, but you can think about what I'm talking about as a public announcement. We already have their Infura-like gate, so you can connect via MetaMask. There is faucet, so you can receive your money. We are supporting Remix, like I said, EVM Shanghai, so you can deploy your contracts on Unilayer. Unfortunately, at the moment, we're not supporting development debug of the contracts. It will be delivered a bit later. As for the future plans, let me finalize it.
Please wrap it up. Absolutely.
Yeah. It gets even more exciting when we're talking about texts like BRC20, right? Because areas here, the landscape is just tremendous. And what's most inspiring part here, that we already have the delivered part of the tech. Like I said, 3 years straight, no one believed that it's even possible. Now it's here. Things explains what we can do louder than any word could. This is what I'm believing it.
Lovely. Alex, first of all, congratulations on receiving all these milestones, and nothing but respect then for still pursuing your initial vision. And to be honest, Bitcoin is king, and we all see the sentiment of the ordinals is going great. So you made a great strategic decision for keeping it up. So thank you so much. I see we have a few questions also coming up from our community. I see Vincent, and thank you for being involved, Vincent. He asks, are you utilizing decentralized sequencing?
Decentralized sequencing is a very interesting question. We're right now discussing it. Because right now we're using classic sequence from like what you can see in PVX and chains like that. I'm not sure really do we need to bother about it or not. Later we will make our code publish, and we will work like on a very standard model like BIP and stuff like that. So we open to discussions. Right now, more into like multi-hash processing because it sounds like fascinating things. Benchmarks are just amazing.
Thank you for clarifying. I have also a few questions from my side. Could you elaborate more on the node procedure and how validators could benefit from running a node at your network?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Thanks for the question. It's kind of like two level, like actually it's one level system when you have to stake money to become master node. Very classic deposit composition here. And using leasing amounts and etc., you actually can participate in rolling to become validator for the next round. But there are actually a few layers of it, because there is one validator, which is the validator to produce the block in the chain, and another validator is to validate cross-chain transactions. And oh boy, there are two very different stories here, because obviously we are more rewarding towards cross-chain transactions. Actually, I forgot to mention ability to create hash on Bitcoin from ordinals and store the whole ordinals in Bitcoin. Like think about us as an RGB contracts, but we are self-sustainable chain, not dependent on the data entropy. And we able even to produce subchain like Lightning in between if you need like sequence of calculations, or using MPC, this can be just straight update of the state. As for to return to validators questions, apologize for that, it's important. The most rewarding role here is to be validator of cross-chain transactions, obviously, because for that one we have additional reward. As for exact economics of that rewarding model, it's kind of something we still testing right now. We have testnet for that. because we have drastically decreased computational units. You have to, in order to process transactions, because we have C++, without RPC in between, everything happens within the single binary. So obviously it's much cheaper. You don't have to have like the whole virtual machine with 4 or more than that instances and stuff like that.
Thank you so much for elaborating on that. And I was wondering, your cross-chain swaps, are these native or wrap tokens?
It's kind of like there are 2 ways to answer to that question. There's like short-time answer and the real answer. Like there is no native tokens outside of the chain where it was produced, except the situation when the token in its design, its very core, has ability to be that way presented. So obviously everything like Bitcoin outside the chain of Bitcoin is wrapped. No matter how we call it, it is wrapped. So we do have that ability. We may produce like one-time address used only for that transaction, only for that demand in Bitcoin chain. So the person will be able to store his money there. And if he will need to take it back, it's non-custodial. It's something like everyone feels a bit empty after REN gone. And this way you can think like partially it returns to say. So yeah, it is possible to make it non-custodial swaps. And those addresses will be only one-timers for only that transaction.
That's great news. We have one more question. Who are the main partners and backers behind Unilayer Network?
Unfortunately, part of them I can't voice it out loud at the moment because we are still in the process of negotiation on exact terms, how it will be, and etc. But I can guarantee there are huge names and very interesting. Thing is like literally no one trusted that we can do this. Like technical stuff, they just searched through our white paper and said like, it's not possible. All right, we're here, we did it.
Awesome. I totally get that. And we're also out of time considering everything. You're a remarkable founder and a great persona to have on stage. I will definitely keep my scope on you. Thank you so much, Alex. Have a good one.
Cheers. Let's rock.
Cheers. Let's go. All right. So we will be moving to our last showcasing participant of today. I'm about to bring Network on stage. So please, Brahma, get ready as you're about to come on stage. Yes. Welcome, Brahma.
Hi, how's everybody? Man, super cool presentations before us. Hi, Kai. Thanks for hosting and organizing all of this.
You're most welcome. It's a big pleasure. And definitely to wrap it up with a showcasing star like you.
Thank you.
How are you today, Brahma?
No, I'm doing good. I'm just super, like, a little hyped. I didn't know there was so much innovation happening around us, and I love these projects. I loved Orange, Unilayer, 10.8, of course. So I'm really excited for what the next few months are going to look like for the ecosystem.
Absolutely.
I think we're super early, and I'm very excited to see where this is going to go.
Well,
and I'm excited to speak to everybody.
Totally, and we're excited to experience firsthand your showcase. A question, will you be sharing a screen or a slide, or will it be purely showcasing through the talks?
No, I've got a slide because, yeah, we've got a slide for everybody.
Lovely. So please upload your slides. Yeah, I can see it coming out.
Does that work?
Yeah. All right, then I will remove myself from the stage and you may kickstart your showcase. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. So, hello everybody, I'm Brahma. I'm a co-founder at Network. And at Network, we love money and we like to grow our money. But when a space is as new as BRC20, we realize we don't have all the tools to grow our network. So at this time, it's extremely difficult for us to be able to clearly see what's happening in the community, within whether it's wallets or within projects even. So what we need is like a magnifying glass, right? Like magnifying glass, be able to like zoom in and see clearly what is happening so that we as investors and as stakeholders and as people engaging as the project's community can feel safe. so that together we can grow this amazing ecosystem that is so new. And as we do that, grow each of our networks. And that's where our product comes in. We're building a portfolio tracking social platform where you'll be able to see clearly with really good user experience all of your holdings and the holdings of any of the projects that you're invested in. At the same time, you'll also be able to clearly see all this for other wallets and see how these wallets interact with each other and how the funds are flowing between them in real time with, again, extremely good interfaces so that you can see this currently rather complex BRC20 on-chain data very clearly. I also said earlier that we are a social platform. This is because we've come up with really innovative, really quirky experiences for you to be able to like engage with each other and have fun on our platform. One of them is Bit to Chat, where you can essentially pay another wallet to get their advice through our messaging app for alpha, or to just have a chat. If you want advice for your project, you want advice on your portfolio, you can see another wallet, see their portfolio, and then bid and give them essentially network tokens for them to be able to give your advice. So almost think of it like OnlyFans, but instead of like hot pictures, you're sending hot alpha from KOLs. It's like don't send nudes, send BTC kind of a thing. Along with this, the core of the platform is a social ranking system and a feed where your ranking on the platform is based on the total net worth of your followers. So you're essentially incentivized to have a bunch of rich people following you who are only going to do so if you're posting quality content on net worth. Through these tools, and like that I very briefly gave you an overview of, and many more that are in the pipeline, we're trying to build a lot of transparency within the space because we want you to be able to see, to be able to find and access the data that you want to clearly, whenever you want and how you want, in the way that you want it. And by doing this, we solve a lot of complexity because by using our token tracking and portfolio management tools, you'll get complete ownership data with all historical data to be able to like see what the whales are buying, see what the whales are selling, be able to track that in real time, and at the same time copy trade or copy inscribe, because it's BRC20, other wallets in the space as well. And we're doing this because we believe all of this and everything that we're building gives us the necessary ingredients to build the engagement and build the community so that once again, we're able to build each of our net worth as we build up this really new space and this really big opportunity that we have. And I sort of keep going back to like, this is really new, this is really early, because like, if you really think about it, the opportunity here is massive. And it's only going to work well for us if we set up the right building blocks. Because think about where we are with the BRC20 ecosystem and how that compares to the obviously Ethereum and ERC20 and the wallets they have, and of course the big BTC space itself. We're super early and there's a lot of potential for us to grow here, but that's only going to happen if we have the right foundational stones put in place. And we want to be one of those foundational stones. And a big part of our platform is the network token. So with this token comes a very robust revenue and token locking model, because we wanted to give a lot of value to the token holders and a lot of utility to the token itself. So on the platform itself, you can use the token to bid to chat, that is pay other wallet owners to chat. You can also use it to request custom analytics along with historical data about a project, about certain wallets, and also offer net worth to other KOLs or experts on the platform to buy alpha before they even publicly release it. You'll also be able to use net worth to pay for a BRC20 ID so that you're able to connect your BRC20 wallet with either a real world identity or an on-chain identity. Finally, if you lock up some net worth, you'll get higher tier platform access and also be able to like show your association with a certain DAO or a bigger community and get some priority access to like shillers that we have on the platform and KOLs that we have on the platform. There's a lot in the roadmap. I think I went over a lot of it, but this is a more zoomed out sort of like what's coming in the next few months. we're going to be launching very soon with a Telegram bot that will give you a lot of the data that will be shown on the platform, but through even better user experience, that is through the Telegram bot. And also you'll be able to subscribe to whale alerts and have a dashboard where you can connect your wallet, see your portfolio, and see the portfolio of others as well. Now, we're able to do this because we've got some really, really good engineers and really experienced people on our team. We're a team of 12 people right now, but it's extremely heavy on the engineering side. Everybody on the engineering side has either worked in big tech or some biggest names in Web 2, and then has a couple of years of experience in Web 3 as well. And of course, as you can see from the slide, we're incubated and backed by the Ordinals Council, because I think a lot of our values and our mission aligns with the values of the council that they were talking about in the beginning of this session as well. With that, I'll wrap up. I'll not take any more of your time. I'll wrap up this showcase. This is how you can reach us on Twitter, and I'll drop my Telegram DM as well. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them right now and to take them after the presentation as well.
Wow, Brahma, that was such an amazing and yet comprehensive showcase. Thank you so much. I didn't knew that there were so many features coming up on Network. And a first question from my side, I'm quite eager to know, what is your synergy with Uber and JP Morgan, for example? These are some of the top tier names outside crypto. So yeah, enlighten us.
No, these are all the companies that our devs have worked at. We've got our designers and our developers. They have had experience working with Uber, Asana, JP Morgan, and all of the brands that you saw on the screen.
Amazing.
After that, a couple of us have had many years of experience building products in crypto, in payments. Even had some experience in medtech, building startups. And now we're getting into BRC20 because we want to build something massive here.
That's very exciting to hear, and a no-brainer that you have a pioneering team. So thanks for bringing so much value to the ecosystem. I was wondering, do you have any approximate timeline mapped out to go live with your platform?
Yeah, we are looking at the Telegram bot going live in the next 2 weeks, and the dashboard is going to go live within the month.
Got it. And is this Telegram bot also driven by AI features, or do you approach it differently?
That's a good question. So a lot of the AI tools are going to come in on the analytics front. So you might have seen that on the roadmap as well. We want to be able to provide very comprehensive information on wallets and on projects as well. And to be able to do that, we're going to be bringing in some AI data analytics tools, along with some really interesting visualizations that are currently being worked on, just so you can, see the whole see the whole landscape of the project, what the different project wallets are, how they're interacting with each other.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you for clarifying. And if it's possible, can you share some information who your lead partner and backer is currently, or is this something that you cannot share at this point?
Yeah, well, we are speaking to a lot more people that are still not mature enough to go public. We are incubated by the Ordinals Council, that I think are also organizing the DemoDay, and Mirai DAO. We have some really amazing advisors as well. However, all of that information will become public in due course.
Oh, that's exciting. Considering everything, only having the Ordinals Council on board, like visionaries of prominent investors, creators, and brands, that's already a big achievement. So congrats. And
Thank you.
may I ask, what is your personal biggest achievement so far? And what is the most exciting part that we can expect from you in 2024?
Oh, are you talking about the achievement with net worth?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I think it's going to be some of the partnerships that we've been able to establish. Obviously, having Ordinals Council on board, along with setting up an absolutely amazing team that wants to see this become a reality. I think at the core of it, having a robust team that knows what they're doing and is excited about what you're building is what is most important. So just a very big shout out to them. I think they were our biggest achievement this year so far.
Awesome.
And with regards to what's coming up in the next few months, I think we briefly showed you all the roadmap. There's a lot of excitement that's coming, a lot of new features, and the best part of all of this is with Network, we want to build up a community where they can tell us how they want to see this information better, how we can improve their user experience and these user interfaces in BRC20 better. And we want to be able to do that for them.
Got it. Well, thanks for clarifying again on that. And we have also a final question coming up from our community. It seems to be they're quite eager about you. So how do they can get network tokens? And this guy wants it right now, actually.
Thank you for that question. So the token, it's not live yet. Details will follow soon. Again, we're working with the Ordinals Council and ToshiPad to make sure that goes live properly. But as of right now, the tokens are not live and actively being traded yet.
Well,
But
you
soon,
heard it, folks.
very soon.
Soon, and keep Network on your scope. Considering everything, Brahma, thank you so much for being with us today. It's a pleasure, and I'm definitely gonna follow you also. So have a great one.
All right, thank you.
Cheers. All right, so we will be moving on to the final part of the event. We're bringing on two members from ToshiPad for a little discussion before we wrap it up. So please, Zam, get again ready to come on stage with your colleague, Mudra. Hey there, guys. A pleasure to have you on.
Beat you to the punch. What's up?
All
We're
good,
here.
man.
Oh, my camera fell down. This is not okay.
Yes.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
All good, Mudra. Thank you for being with us. I'm gonna friendly kick me off of the stage, and you guys can pick it up.
Kaya, thanks so much, man. Appreciate all the work you've been doing today. This is a class act. It's so much fun to see all of the energy and all of the talent and all of the tech coming up for display. The more we can see of this sort of activity in Ordinals, the more we're going to become a cooked space, a space where people can really confidently come in, really build, really earn some profit, really contribute. So it's just awesome to see. So thank you, Kaya.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of step in here and first of all, amazing. Orange guys crushed it. Alex, Unilayer, Kevin, BitLayer, definitely questions there, and net worth as well. So shout out to all of you, along with 10&A crew. I believe they're gone at the moment. Lots of innovation coming into the space. And ToshiPad in itself, I want to kind of just jump in and talk about this labor of love that we've been more or less building for the greater part of a year. And so more importantly, it's for us, I want to kind of jump in about the vision. And Mudra is someone that I specifically asked to be here to elaborate on that vision because he's more or less our chief of strategy in a way. So what I'll do here, I'll share our website really quickly here. And Mudra, I want you to kind of just go through things one at a time. Start at the bottom. Let's go with why ToshiPad, why a Launchpad, why BRC20 space. And then let's talk about some value mechanics in our community. By the way, shout out to our community out there. I know you're asking questions in our TG, and I'm trying to get to them as well. So Mudra, go ahead. Why exactly a Launchpad, ToshiPad, and why is this Launchpad different than all the other Launchpads that have been in the space?
Yeah, thanks, Sam. Let me start by zooming us out just a little bit. ToshiPad is the crown jewel of the council ecosystem. This is not a one and done project. That's, I think, the message more than anything that I want to get across to our community and to the Ordinals community at large. The reason that we've been cooking this thing for so long is that we didn't want to have a flash in the pan. We didn't want to have something that just sparked up and fizzled. There has been so much innovation in crypto in general, and then certainly secondarily recently in Ordinals. And I think everybody knows that the typical arc is that there's a lot of hype, people flood in, people throw money in, and then there's quote unquote winners and bag holders. That's bullshit. That's crap. For actually building tech, for actually making the space welcoming for, not only investment, but the general public, we have to have something that really serves everybody. This is not about investor games and, DeFi, degens, and we welcome all those guys. That's great. But we want something that's actually sustainable, something that genuinely has value flows. This is not a hype-driven project. This is the tech. This is the community. This is the real deal. And so when we were cooking ToshiPad, what we wanted something that focused on long-term value for our users. And so the central goal of ToshiPad is to have a clearinghouse, a central distribution area that people who come into Ordinals, maybe they're OGs, maybe they're fresh from the bull run and this is their first time checking out crypto. We want a place where people can go and feel confident that they're making a wise investment. They're actually getting into something legitimate, right? Everyone realizes that the first time you get into crypto, hey, it's the bull run, you're excited, you start putting money in and you lose it all. Well, why does that happen? It happens because everyone else who's more oriented than you takes advantage of you, right? That's the way that flows. We're entirely against that. We want people to be able to comfortably come in and be confident they're getting a nice project. They're getting to something with some valid tech, long-term prospects. So ToshiPad is a way for people to get hooked into the council ecosystem. And the council ecosystem is that value proposition. It's that way for everyone to come in and get exposure to awesome frickin' tech.
Amazing. Funny detail for nerds, our nodes could run on. Great. Muja, hopefully you didn't get rugged, but that was the end of your questioning because you kind of okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right. Great.
I mean, I can just keep going, man. But
no, I know you can. But the profit in a way. Another thing I want to touch up on is, guys, transparency. Right? We know the space. The more information you have in the space, the better the decisions that you make. So for us, a part of bringing a launchpad into the space and having these demo days in a way is to keep things transparent. Is one, how do we get deal flow? How do we get people on ToshiPad? Well, we introduce things like Demo Day, where the connections that we have within the network and all these amazing techs, we showcase it to the entire community. And then there'll be some community votes on projects that we essentially want to list. And then from there, like some of the pitches that you've seen today, you will see them on ToshiPad at some point. I can't promise the exact dates, but they will be there. Now, the way that they're going to launch is a little bit different than a standard launchpad. And this is what my next question, or I want Muja to for you to elaborate, is the value flows, the grant systems that we've taken. This is why things took so long to kind of cook and get us to this place, is because the method of which we wanted to operate was far different than a previous explored launchpad. So let's talk a little bit about value flows. What are we looking for projects that want to launch on ToshiPad?
So everything that launches through ToshiPad is going to be tied into the council ecosystem. And again, the council ecosystem is all about long-term value. And so we wanted to make a launchpad that really linked everything together. So every project that launches through ToshiPad is going to have shared value flows with the other projects in the council ecosystem. Now, what does that mean? Functionally, what happens is that it ends up looking a lot like, for instance, Bored Apes. The earlier in you are, the more you get distribution from all of the subsequent projects. So if you're listening to this, you're still early. There's still CNCL out there, the BRC20 token you can get. You can still go buy the initiate PFPs, also called the yellow PFPs, on the secondary marketplace for freaking cheap. And what happens over the course of time is that as we throw in more projects to the ecosystem, and maybe that's too light of a word because all of these are heavily vetted to make sure they have actual long-term value flows, right? There's no rug projects, there's no bullshit, there's no quick exit for investors, this sort of stuff. That's not what we're about. We're about putting together projects that flow value, real world value, not Ponzonomics, real world value into the council ecosystem. And that means it goes into all of the projects. So the more you get into the early projects through ToshiPad into the council ecosystem, the more that you're going to get flows coming from every subsequent direction.
And how exactly, so let's talk about some token. Guys, I know we're a little bit short on time and we've had such incredible jam sessions already. So I want to be cognizant of everyone's time. We'll take another 5 minutes or so about this. Let's talk a little bit about grant systems, how we're allocating the tokenomics side of things, how much we're allocating to different categories and groups and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, I think as a collective, the council can be really proud of how Toshi Token is coming forward, right? We've really taken a community forward, decentralized approach to this. I think rather impressively, to the credit of our due diligence and fundraising team, they pivoted and said, hey, we're not going to take these millions of dollars in VC. And we got approached for that. We had some serious VC money come and say, hey, give us a cut of this at the expense of your community. And we said, absolutely not. That's not what we're about. And so what we have now is we have a tokenomics system that really focuses on our community. We have also a bunch of tokens that are held in reserve. So one of the unique things about the Toshi token tokenomics is that we have a fairly low circulating supply at first that will very gradually dilute, but only when we bring on quality projects. So how does that dilution happen? It happens in the form of builder grants. So essentially, if a builder says, hey, I have this awesome project, this, let's say, infrastructural project that's going to shake Ordinals, we say, yes, we want you as part of the council ecosystem. And we want to tie the value flows, the real world monetary generation of whatever you're doing. We want to tie that in for all of our community. We want them to get the reward of that. So to do that, we're going to give you some proportion of Toshi token in exchange for you tying in your value. So essentially, as the value, the market cap of their project goes up, the market cap of Toshi token goes up and vice versa. We are looking for long-term engagements, long-term partners, win-wins. And so the tokenomics is geared first towards the community and secondarily for builders. We want this to be a win for everybody. We want this to be an engine of innovation in Ordinals. Pretty hype.
Absolutely. And the reason why I have this illustration up, it's because it tries to capture or encompass the entire vision of the council, where ToshiPad is actually just one of a few core projects that are going to be delivered and built out. And each one of those core projects is launching a project on itself. So ToshiPad is going to bring a series of infrastructure projects that,
yeah, exactly.
Some of them you've heard on here today already. They'll be launched on ToshiPad. So it's essentially every core project ties into the greater vision of the council, which is to push Bitcoin into mass adoption, right? But also
That's exactly right.
Essentially gateway to make sure that we're not tossing out random projects that aren't necessarily a good fit or at all needed into this ecosystem, right? If we've all seen what's happened in the EVM space, we don't necessarily want to replicate that here. So
yeah, we're really seeking to create fundamental value. Again, the term Ponzonomics, I think, is a very, very useful term. And the more that people are educated on what value flows legitimately sustain, the more they're going to be insulated from scam projects. Meme coins are fun. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But really, fundamentally, things have to bring value to users. If projects don't give real world value, then they're going to collapse over time. And so we're really focusing on making sure that everyone who engages with ToshiPad walks away with a healthy bag.
Yes. And I just want to briefly close things up. A quick tutorial on ToshiPad. We are looking to go live very quickly. We're currently in a beta testing. We just recently did a quick little test with our community. It was fun. A new mechanism where if you mint a token that has absolutely zero value, you get on the whitelist for our actual ToshiPad IDO. It's a good way for them to kind of go through and test the entire mechanism. Let me see. So for those of you watching, I don't think I remember my password. Maybe? Okay, cool.
There's a quick question over on the comments on StreamYard that I'm going to pick up just because we have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thomas Sabat asked, who decides for new project to get funds? Part of the value of the council is that it is run by all these OGs, like the fellows who introed our demo day, like Sakamoto and Serge Satz and the architect. And the core people behind the council are what we dub sages. And the point of a sage is to share wisdom. When we look at new projects to onboard to the ecosystem, that's something that's happening from a highly skilled team that vets the hell out of things. We've got an entire due diligence team. We have a legal team. And again, the whole goal here is to make sure that we're bringing actual value to the community. Thanks for that question, Thomas.
Absolutely. Let's take a few more questions. Let's see in the private chat. Not seeing anything in the private chats. Let's check out our Discord here really quickly. I can confirm. No questions there. Essentially, guys, welcome to I really appreciate everybody here. Welcome to our first official demo day. A lot of hard work has gone with the Pitch Talk team, along with a few of our counselors building this whole thing out, getting all of these speakers. I want to thank all of you for being here today, both from the council, from the individual projects. Appreciate you all taking the time to come here and showcase your project. For us, the road is just beginning. ToshiPad is just one of X products that are going to come out to the market from the council. But we really want to lock in and make everything that we build self-sufficient, self-sustaining, because it is coming from a DAO, essentially. That's what we are. So the first official project on ToshiPad will be TSHX itself. We will be kicking things off very soon. There is a countdown timer here. We do have a few other projects coming down the pipelines, and these pipelines, you're basically seeing it live in action right in front of you. Some of the projects showcased here today may or may not end up on ToshiPad itself, but I think they will. Now, of course, everyone's got fantastic partnerships there. If you ever want to kind of come here, jump around, meet the council, you can get to know us a little bit more down here. For anyone who might be watching on YouTube or Twitter that you're not familiar with us, come say hello. We got you. We got our communities out there as well. Everything from Discord. I think most of the action happens on TG and Discord. So happy to see anyone come in. If you have any questions, come jump in, say hello. We got you. That's it for now, I think, Mundra, unless I missed something.
Zam, there's one question that came in, and I hate to destroy your flow because that's a great outro, but this is a really good question that I think is worth addressing.
Yeah,
if you and I maybe want to kind of tackle this and then we close things down. This is a great question from Etsy Ballin. How does Toshi differ from Turtle? And I think it's worth addressing this live because it's a great freaking question, right? People are going to wonder, why would I get into ToshiPad as a launch pad rather than the competitors like Turtle? And ultimately, I want to first point out that we are the well-wishers of all the different projects in Ordinals. And I really mean that. We're not here to compete and cut people down. So I'm not going to talk smack about Turtle. I think it's great that they're pushing things forward. And in fact, you're probably going to see that they do end up launching some of the similar things that we launched. One of the things that really differentiates us from Turtle and other launch pads in the space is that value forward to the community ecosystem. We have a whole back end that is dedicated to vetting projects and making linkages in value flows. So to my knowledge, there is not a similar launch pad, even in EVMs. We are focusing on tying value flows. We're not just a launch pad, we're an incubation system into an ecosystem. That's the fundamental answer. How does Toshi differ from Turtle or any other competitor? The point is that we are taking these projects and we are ensuring their success. We are helping them with all of our OGs who have been in the space for ages. Hey, how can we help you with strategy, marketing, legal, value flows? And we don't bring on anybody unless we are creating tight linkages in value flows, if we're not creating long-term value. So I think the answer is the degree of diligence. That's what really differentiates us from other launchpads. So thanks for that, Etsy Ball, and that's a freaking awesome question. Very, very good thing to bring to the fore there.
Well,
Zam, thoughts on that?
Muja, since I've given out my outro, I guess it's on you now to give your outro. One last
Okay,
thing. Bertrand, tell us about the tiers for the fundraise. I will be posting it later today, so just a little bit more patience. It's going to jump on our Medium, where we'll explain the entire launch sequence of TSA checks and the different tiers. So stay tuned for that. It's far better if you read it than us kind of rambling about it now.
Yeah, check out our Git book, guys. We put everything down there. This is something that I think everyone is really going to have the opportunity to have a lot of fun with and get some good benefit from. If you're sitting here listening to this, guys, you're early. Welcome.
Cool. All right, Mudra, it's on you, buddy. Close it off.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us for Demo Day. Expect a lot more of this as we get things geared up. We are going to just keep on having projects, excellent projects, move through the pipeline for our community. Reach us on Discord, reach us on Telegram. Questions are great. Please bring them to us. We're happy to engage, guys. I hope everyone has an awesome day.
Thank you. So, Kai, if you want to come up here and finish things off, I don't know what your process is, or
Absolutely.
you want to end it right now. It's on you, buddy.
I just want to mention I couldn't have imagined a better and more dynamic showcase than you guys brought on today. So thank you so much for being involved. It's really remarkable to see how the Ordinals Council is hyperscaling the decentralized era and all the value you bring to the ecosystem. So nothing but love for that. I really want to highlight one more time our partners of today. Thank you so much. The Ordinals Council, New Tribe Capital, Centauri, and of course our other judges of today. We had ABCDE Capital, Bitcoin Frontier Fund, Foundership, Animoca Brands, Symbiote, and Lucid Blue Ventures. Considering everything, I want to also thank our captivating audience of today, and nothing but respect for the founders that are pushing innovation through here. We at Pitch Talk, we incentivize founders, startups to pitch and showcase their full potential in front of captive audiences and key industry players that like we experienced today. So definitely keep an eye out on us as we will keep hosting demo days. And I'm looking forward how the Ordinals Council will keep on shaping the Ordinals and BRC20 ecosystem. So thank you all for being with us today and have a great one.